What's up, fellas? How are
Oh,
you?
Jack.
Doing good. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Congrats on the signing today. I think this is huge for the Jets. Gives them some much needed depth. To your guys' point, keep Brees Hall off the field until he's completely healthy, ready to
Yep.
go. Week 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 are what matters most for him.
Yep.
Let Dalvin Cook eat those carries. To the people complaining about paying too much for him, it's like, what are you guys going to do? You want to carry 16 million in cap space for next year? Like, what are we doing here? We're going to have to win it right now. There's no tackles on the market that you're going to go out and sign for 10, 12 million dollars a year. I think this signing, more than anything, for insurance for Brees Hall is really insurance for a Garrett Wilson injury, and I'll explain why. I think they're going to carry Corey Davis into he's going to be on the team. I think he might take a bit of a pay cut, but I think he's going to be on the team. But I think if someone like Garrett Wilson goes down, being able to have depth at wide receiver with Lazard, Corey Davis, two guys who can block on the outside, beat up cornerbacks. They've got 3-4 tight ends on this roster who can play. They're going to go into a mode where I think you're going to see 50-50 balance from pass to run. And if an injury happens at wide receiver, you're going to see this team become a running team with two tight ends, two big wide receivers, and 2, 3, 4 backs that can just pound it down your throat while the defense carries the team. So I think this is huge. You have depth all around
Yep.
from the top to the bottom of the roster. You used to look at this roster from 1 to 53, and you just the back 20 players, you'd be like, these guys can't play anywhere else except for the Jets. There's no
Yep.
other team that they could play for.
That's true.
You only dress 45 on game day. Go from 1 to 45. You have some impossible decisions to make on who those 45 are going to be. And then at positions like D end, you don't even know who to play. Is it Jermaine Johnson? Is it Bryce Huff? Is it, some of these McDonald?
They're all going to play.
D tackle number 2 from corners 1 to 3. I mean, all these guys are starters on every team. The Jets, more than anything, have depth everywhere. Even the weakest spot, which is tackle, they have a bunch of guys that can play tackle on this roster.
Yeah, but see,
So
I agree with everything you're saying, especially in years past. The Jets would cut players and nobody pick them up. Nobody even sign them. They'd be like, then last year we saw that trend change, but the offensive line is a concern, man. And we can't really sugarcoat it because Dwayne Brown's an unknown. Becton's an unknown. I don't personally like Billy Turner, but I mean, what the hell do I know? So how do you think, to me, I think Prime Times would say it too, is we kind of believe AVT is going to become a tackle. I think that's probably the team's best move.
Yeah, I'm not buying AVT at tackle. I think Joe Douglas, over his dead body, will he move an all-pro guard to tackle? Last year was a limited sample size. I thought AVT did an unbelievable job, but you guys have to remember, look, the stuff you can hide behind some of your limitations at right tackle. I think AVT did a tremendous job there. The short arms end of it, if you start running into primetime Philadelphia Eagles type defenses, that's where AVT is going to have some problems. I'm not saying he can't play at a high level there for most of the season. I think he can. I just think you're taking a tremendous strength and moving him into an area where he may struggle against some high-end teams. To the tackle point, I think we're deeper there than most people are giving us credit for. Let me explain why. There's been no one who can play left tackle. Dwayne Brown hasn't practiced yet. Mekhi Becton can barely get through a practice. So at this point, they just need warm bodies to move over there. Do you think they want Max Mitchell and Billy Turner taking reps there?
No.
Obviously not, but they have to get through a practice in July and August.
Right.
So once Dwayne Brown is back and you have Becton, who's into game shape, you can actually get through a practice. You have two guys competing at left tackle there. And then at right tackle, you're going to get Max Mitchell, Billy Turner, and the rookie Carter Warren taking full-time reps at one position. These guys have been bouncing back every other day. They're professionals like everyone else. It's a lot to ask of these guys to expect them to do it at a high level in July when they're not doing it full-time.
See, that's the thing with AVT, though. I feel like that's sort of a last resort if Dwayne Brown isn't ready in 2 weeks and if Mekhi Becton isn't capable of going to 50 snaps. I don't think they have any intention of moving him, only if those two guys aren't ready. Because like you said, you don't want Billy Turner as your left tackle, right?
So no, obviously not. There's no. I mean, those guys, if they're playing left tackle at any point this year, something has gone horrifically wrong. I think those guys are. I think Max Mitchell was probably going to be the third swing tackle, and then all those guys are going to be fighting it out at right tackle. And I would expect that Mitchell and Billy Turner will look better there, when they're getting to practice every single day, consecutive days at one position.
Yeah, I think even Aaron Rodgers getting frustrated by it. He said it like every day they're switching back and forth. I think he's getting frustrated even just seeing it. Like, let's just, the competition's over. Let's get everybody ironed out, and just so we can get communication down and build some chemistry that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, this, first of all, this call is phenomenal. So what is your outlook for the Jets this year, man? You like us, like thinking like 11 wins, 12 wins? Like, what are you thinking for the team?
Yeah, I don't know what Vegas has it at. I think they're probably at 10.5, something like that. I mean, I would absolutely hammer the over on it. I came in even before these moves were made. I was looking at 11 wins as my minimum baseline to determine kind of what success failure looks like for this year. Mm-hmm. I would think 12 wins should be on the docket. They've got a tough schedule, really tough division. It's not going to be a slam dunk, but look, man, I think they're really underrated right now. I looked at the money line for them yesterday. They were plus 1,800 or something on the Super Bowl. I like those odds personally. I just think there's so much depth up and down the top 45. And I just don't think anyone in the national media really gives them any credit for it. I still think they're underrated in the AFC right now. I mean, some people have missed in the playoffs, which I think is just crazy talk. And my last point here, guys, Aaron Rodgers has that like sociopathy in him, where there's something a little crazy about him. Yep. And, ever since this little ayahuasca trip, he's gone on this kind of like moral crusade where he's enlightened and he's got this kind of godlike aura about him. And, I think he's used those powers for good generally. He seems like a pretty open-minded person who's taking the leadership role with the young kids. But more than anything, I think he is you go back to some of the issues he had with his family. The guy knows how to hold a grudge, and when he's motivated by something, when Alex Smith, people forget this is a junior college kid who didn't get any offers, goes to Cal, crushes it there, gets overlooked because he comes from a Tedford offense. Alex Smith is the pick, sits 3.5 years, comes out and he blows the league up. I just think when his motivation right now is to leave a legacy that makes people mention him in the same breath as Tom Brady. If he wins a Super Bowl with the Jets, people are going to look back at his 15 years with the Packers, and they're going to go, what if they had actually given him another top 10 defense? What if they drafted a receiver in the first round? How many more Super Bowls would Aaron Rodgers have? And so for one Super Bowl with the Jets is equal to like 5 Tom Brady rings with the Patriots.
It's true.
Okay?
It's true.
I think he'll be compensated by that from the evaluators, the people who come up with these top quarterback lists of all time. I just think that motivation is something that is very, very powerful. And I think it's something that everyone is underestimating, just how focused he is on this year and how valuable that's going to be for the Jets.
Jack,
this is called a week right here. Prime time. This is it. You got this.
Excellent call.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Guys, my pleasure.
Good
Great
stuff,
job.
man.
Look forward to talking as the season gets closer.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Good.